I've had the Pixel Watch 2 LTE strapped to my wrist for the past month, and there are a couple of things that I really like about it and a couple of things that I don't. Google has made significant improvements on the Pixel Watch 2, and the two improvements that stand out the most is the processor upgrade and the improved battery life. But is it enough to merit a recommendation? Well, let's find out. Google released the Pixel Watch 2 at the same price as the first gen Pixel Watch. You can pick up the Wi-Fi model for $299, or you can pick up the LTE model for $349. And I picked up the LTE model in the matte black aluminum case. Google also decided to keep the overall Pixel Watch 2 design the same, which some of you may or may not like. I personally wouldn't have minded as much if they also offered it in a bigger size, like in a 44mm casing. This is only offered in the 41mm model, and it still has a 1.2-inch display, which is not bad. I like the design of the watch, but it would have been great if they increased the display size even just a little bit. After finishing up my review of the Samsung Watch 6, the 1.3-inch display is what I missed the most, aside from some features now found on the Pixel Watch 2. The build quality on the Pixel Watch 2 is much better. The rotating crown here is a lot smoother. I can rotate the crown with ease even when using gloves to check my notifications. And unlike the first gen Pixel Watch, the crown has been working without any issues for the last month. The casing is composed from 100% recycled materials, and it is now much lighter. I personally couldn't tell the difference, but the watch has been comfortable to wear all day and while I sleep. The Pixel Watch 2 now includes multi-LED path sensors for enhanced heart rate monitoring precision, and a new skin temperature sensor provides more accurate data for comprehensive sleep tracking. So far, this has been keeping track of my heart rate and my sleep cycles consistently. The step tracking and GPS has been pretty great on here. It's not 100% accurate, there are slight deviations, but it's just as good as many other Wear OS smartwatches. The watch also now features an IP68 water resistant rating, making it safe to shower with, but I still wouldn't recommend showering with your watch. Now, something I'm not so happy with is that Google changed up the way the watch charges. It no longer uses the wireless charger that the first gen uses. It is now a pin-based charger, and it only mounts in one direction. One of the downsides about the charger being changed is that you will no longer be able to use your previous charger on this. So for those of us who bought an additional charger for the first Pixel Watch to have one at home and one in the car, we won't be able to use them. This is a topic on itself, and I believe that it is time to get a universal wireless charger for Android smartwatches. Let me know in the comment section if you agree. Now before we move on, a big thanks to Extra for sponsoring this segment. Extra has redefined the wallet with the Parliament and aluminum card holder. They don't just make wallets that are slim and elegant, but they are also very practical. These are the most efficient wallets that I have used for the past 4 years. You can have your cards at your fingertips at an instant with their well thought out ejection system. The Parliament wallet is made from premium leather, providing both durability and a touch of luxury. Plus, with its RFID blocking technology, your cards are safe and secure from skimming. The best part is that you can track them down if you ever misplace it or forget it with their slim tracking card. Right now they're having a Black Friday sale, and if you use my code UHTech, you will get an extra 5% discount on top of any sales that they have. With that being said, let's go ahead and get back to the video. I really like how Google is streamlining the experience between the Pixel Watch and the Pixel phone. With the Pixel Watch 2, you now have the option to sync the Do Not Disturb and the bedtime mode between your watch and phone. You will see this option under the notification setting on your phone. With this, I found myself using the flip to silence on my Pixel phone more often. And this has been a really efficient way to quickly silence my phone and watch at the same time to get some uninterrupted work done. And now you can also sync your alarm between your phone and watch. The alarm will only ring on your watch if you go to sleep with it. Otherwise, it will only go off on your phone. The cool thing is that this feature also rolled out to the first gen Pixel Watch. Now, one of the best features on the Pixel Watch is the fast notifications. If you have the always on display enabled and the watch is asleep, you can swipe up or down on the screen and it will take you to the notification or drop down menu right away. And this also works with swiping left or right to access your tiles. This saves you time from needing to tap on the screen to wake it first. At first, I thought this would lead to a lot of accidental touches, but surprisingly, this has not been the case for me. Now, something that I think will be really cool for Google to implement is to be able to automatically have the always on display turn off on my phone when I'm wearing the watch, and turn it back on when I take off my watch. Or maybe this might be a dumb idea, so let me know in the comment section what you think. Wear OS 4.0 brought in some nice features. The backup and restore removes the hassle from having to transfer over your watch to a new phone. You can also now download the Google Calendar app and the Gmail app. The typing experience on the Pixel Watch 2 is about the same as the first gen Pixel Watch. It's not all that great since the screen is pretty small. I find myself making typing mistakes quite often. I mostly rely on text-to-speech to reply to text messages, and it has been working really well. Even with my accent, this understands me for the majority of the time. The display on the Pixel Watch 2 is legible in most lighting conditions, but when it's very bright outside, the watch still offers the sunlight boost mode from the previous Pixel Watch. The sunlight boost allows the display brightness to be boosted up to 1000 nits for a short duration of time so that you can easily read what's on your watch. And this has been working really well for the past month. I'm not a big fan of the big bezels on here, but since most of the watch faces have a black background, it's not very noticeable. unless you're using one that has a white background or a picture. The RAM and storage are the same, but it now sports a more recent processor, the Qualcomm Snapdragon 5100 chip, and this has significantly improved the performance of the watch. The watch has been noticeably snappier, everything loads super quick, and it feels incredibly smooth when navigating through the interface. So far, I have not had this lag on me or freeze up, everything has been working great and the temperature is good. The watch has not felt hot on my wrist at all. The connectivity on this watch has been great. It has maintained a flawless connection to my Pixel 8 Pro, and setting up the eSIM on the watch is simple. You do this through the Google Pixel Watch app under the mobile network setting. With the Pixel Watch 2, I have felt more comfortable leaving the house without my phone because the connection feels more solid and the battery life on the watch lasts longer. In the city, I have been getting full bars on LTE for most of the time. It has occasionally dropped to halfway, but for the most part it has been reliable. The call quality on the watch is really good. I tend to keep my arm about 10 inches from my face, and so far nobody has told me that they have a hard time hearing me. Now the best feature on the Pixel Watch 2 is the safety check. Even though I haven't used this besides for testing purposes, this is something that is very practical and helpful for those that like to go out on adventures by themselves or for those just walking at night by themselves. This lets you select an activity and set the duration of that activity. There's an option to notify your emergency contact when you start and end that safety check so that they are aware of it. Now if that timer expires, it will give you a 1-minute countdown, and if you don't end that safety check by then, it will automatically share your location to the people you add as an emergency contact and let them know that you need help. Now the number one thing I like the most about the Pixel Watch 2 is the battery life. This has a slightly bigger battery at 306 mAh compared to last year's 296 mAh battery. This also received more optimization through the Wear OS 4.0 software and the upgraded processor that allows the battery to last longer. I have been getting an average of 32 hours of battery life with the always on display enabled. This is way better than the 20 hours of battery life that I got on the first generation Pixel Watch. With sleep tracking, the battery drains between 9 to 11% on 8 hours of sleep. And now on days where my watch is running on LTE for most of the day, the battery lasts about 23 hours, which is still pretty good. It's a full day for me, so I can't complain. Plus, if the battery dies, the watch is still able to tell you the time if you press on the crown. Now keep in mind that it takes about 2 to 3 seconds after you press the crown to display the time. An upside to the charger being changed to a pin charger is that it now charges your watch much faster. The battery will get to 50% in just 30 minutes. Because of the okay battery life with the first generation Pixel Watch, I wasn't so thrilled to recommend it. But with the compelling upgrade in battery life, this is something that I can now confidently say is worth buying. As long as you don't mind having to charge this once every night. For those of you that have been thinking about getting the Pixel Watch 2, I think this is the time to jump in and experience the Pixel Watch experience. This is definitely what the first gen Pixel Watch should have been. Now for those of you who already own the first generation Pixel Watch, I would recommend to wait and see what the third gen has to offer. Alright, so that is all for today's video. Thank you all for watching. Go ahead and smash that like button if you found the video helpful, and don't forget to subscribe for more tech related videos, and I will talk to you on the next one.